Hello, everyone, and welcome to the series analysis episode of the Seattle Baseline Podcast. My name is Julian Smith, and I'm with Alex Hong. Alex, the Mariners, they tie the series with the Angels 2-2. They're gonna go and face the Athletics. Alex, how do you feel about this series overall?
Hey Julian, what's up? My thoughts on the Angels series is just a little disappointing. I feel like we had a ability to take advantage of an Angels team that isn't that good, but we end up splitting the series. So that's definitely not ideal. And the main problem in this series was the offense. The pitching overall was fine. I'll get to that a little bit later, but let's first talk about the offense. The offense, besides in the third game, really struggled. They like, especially in the last game. The last game was just a disaster. Like we had no chance to win the last game, the fourth game in the series, because basically the problem is our offense wasn't able to perform to a decent level against Kyle Hendricks, who Kyle Hendricks is like he's long past his prime. He was not doing very well this season, and we made him look like prime Kyle Hendricks on the Cubs. So things like that is just not like acceptable from this team. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah. So speaking of that exact same game, I want to talk about Logan Gilbert. And Logan Gilbert is this close to being like a top level premium ace level pitcher in this pitching staff. Not just in this pitching staff, he is that close to being an ace, like all-star ace. His mental needs to improve. And when something goes wrong, it seems like Logan Gilbert just like something changes, and then all of a sudden he basically it's almost like throwing the game away. And for example, the Angels scored a base hit against him, ruined his perfect game up to like 3 1/3 innings point of the game, and then he almost blew up. And then umpire makes a wrong call, he blows up. He this time he completely blows up. He gives up 4 runs. It's happened last year. I bring this up a few times, but last year against the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park, if you want to go check that game out, that's another game where Logan Gilbert blows up like this with a bad call from the umpire. It just seems to happen a lot for Logan Gilbert, and especially for a pitcher that's at that level where he's almost to the level where he is this elite pitcher that can strike 10 batters out, go 6 innings sharp almost every time. That's the type of pitcher that Logan Gilbert could be, but he just needs to fix his mental, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, this Logan Gilbert usually has a pretty decent starts, but then there's always like one inning where he just completely implodes. And definitely like we had the game where Logan Gilbert had the weather delay and then it completely imploded after that. So I feel like there's some small parts of his game that just like it gets to his head and then he overthinks it and then doesn't end up performing well. Because talent-wise, Logan Gilbert is very, very talented, of course, and we've seen him be really amazing before. But I feel like this season the mental hasn't been as great for him, so it's been a sort of a problem for the Mariners for sure.
Yeah, because this Mariners team is built on its pitching staff, and if this pitching staff is plays half as good as they did last year, this Mariners team is at the top of the division without a doubt, even with the Houston Astros playing this good. And so, if the pitching staff can lock it in, the Mariners, I think, can take that next leap into the next step. They can go and win a World Series that way. But speaking of a World Series, you've got to get to the playoffs before you get to the World Series. And the Mariners are currently tied with the Texas Rangers from the same American League West. And the Rangers are super, super hot right now. Alex, what do you think? Like, do you think what do you think the Mariners need to do to fend off the Rangers and keep that wild card spot in check?
Well, they definitely need to keep winning, but I mean, it's just that the Rangers have been playing really well lately, and the Mariners can't really control how well the Rangers play. They can only control how well they play. And things I saw in the Angels series is we hit a lot of home runs, and we talked about before how this team has no problem hitting home runs. But the problem is, I'm specifically going to talk about the third game. In the third game, we had Julio, we had, I believe it was Cal Raleigh, Randy Rosarena, and Julio Rodriguez, who all hit home runs. But the problem is those were all solo home runs. Now I know the offense played well and we won like 7-2 in that game, but it still stands that we need more players on base because we need to get more hits overall. Because if we have two, it doesn't matter if three home runs in a game is pretty good, but the problem is those were all solo home runs. We had nobody on base to take advantage of those runs we could get for the home runs. So I feel like we talked about in the last episode how if they feel like we need more contact, our players need to do a better job getting on base. And specifically, that definitely arrives at JP Crawford. He's been slumping lately, which has been a problem because he's on the top of the order. So when we have Julio and Cal coming up next and no one's on base, this is going to lead to just one run instead of maybe two or even three runs. So that I think is a fundamental problem with the Mariners offense because statistically the Mariners offense hasn't been bad this year, but there's minor aspects that like fend the offense for being really, really good and living up to a higher potential than they are right now.
I honestly like I've never seen the Mariners offense this stacked since like the Ichiro times. This is an offense from the Mariners and a pitching staff from the Seattle Mariners that's like incredibly stacked. It's actually insane. This is a talented team that with a few more minor changes can get to the World Series. And I'm not joking when I say that. I think this Mariners team is the one to get to the World Series if any. And so it comes back to the trade targets that we were talking about in the last episode. We want like the Stephen Kwan type that can get on base. JP Crawford moves to the 9 hole. That'd be really nice because then you make it simple. Julio hits a home run, not a solo home run. He'll hit a 2-run, 3-run home run and win us the game. That's how this team should be structured in the long run. But the Rangers series is actually the series after the series we're going to talk about now. I want to talk about the Athletics series coming up. The Athletics they have what was supposed to be a pretty solid pitching staff with a really good offense. Brent Rooker was an all-star. He is basically every year these days. Jacob Wilson, one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year. Nick Kurtz just put up 6 for 6 with 4 home runs, one of which was almost a home run. And so he could have almost gone 5 home runs in a game, which, I mean, that's unworldly. And so the Athletics offense is a good team. Their pitching staff is a little bit, it seems like they're washed up from what the expectation was. Alex, how do you feel about this series coming up?
Yeah, I think this is a big opportunity for our offense to have a big boom because the break the Athletics pitching staff has been awful this year. All their pitchers have high or like above 4 ERAs for their starters. So our offense needs to mash. If our offense can't perform, then this is going to be a really, really big problem for the Mariners, even going forward, because there's not a big confidence boost. If you can't score against the A's, how are you going to score against really, really good pitching staffs, right? So this is going to be a really big test to see how well the Mariners can perform against a very subpar pitching staff for sure. Offensively, the A's have been really good this year. They have a lot of really good players. Brent Rooker, as you mentioned, he's really good. Nick Kurtz has been playing really, really good lately. He has over 1,000 OPS this season, so he can mash. Jacob Wilson, he has been cooling off a bit, but he's still having a pretty respectable year. So yeah, I mean the A's just have a lot of players on offense. So I mean, strategy wise for this series, I feel like the pitching staff they need to play adequately or pretty well. They obviously can't be giving up like 10 runs in a game. That would no, you can't win any game for that matter. But if the pitching staff can somewhat lock them down, even if you give up a few runs, I still expect the Mariners offense to perform and outscore the A's in all of those games.
And the Athletics have one pitcher, Mason Miller. That's their closer. That's their one relief pitcher that's actually good, but their relief staff's not very good either. And so the Mariners being a team, even if they don't score, it seems like the Mariners are really good at taking pitches. The Mariners are good at running up that pitch count. And so if we can get to the bullpen as fast as we can completely blow up their bullpen pitching staff. And I think if we can do that in the first game, that makes it so much easier for us going forward into the second and third game, especially with their only good pitcher being Mason Miller.
Yeah, and this is going to be a very important series, like we talked about. That we have to take advantage of the A's. The A's have not been playing well this year. They are last in the division. Their record is, I believe, 46 and 62. So they have been losing a lot of games. So we have to take advantage of these bad teams because the MLB this year, there hasn't been teams that are like outstanding, like, wow, they're going to get like the best record in the league easily. There's been a lot of good teams, a lot of mediocre teams, and not too many bad teams. The A's are definitely one of the more bad considered teams. So we have to take advantage and we have to at minimum win 2 out of 3, I feel like, but we should honestly go for the sweep, I feel like, especially with the Rangers coming up close to our record in the wild card standings.
I totally agree. If the Mariners are going to win a World Series, the pitching needs to show that they can withstand an offense like the Athletics, because the Athletics offense is good. So it's going to be a test for our pitching staff. And offensively, you need to be able to score against this type of pitching. At the very least, you have to be able to score 5 runs ish against a pitcher that's 4 or 5 ERA. This is what we expect from the Mariners. And if we're going to go for a World Series ring, this is what we need. Alex, do you have any more thoughts on this?
Nope, that's it.
That's it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our beautiful faces on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. And as always, go Mariners.
Go Mariners.